before?
No, we've never worked here, no.
Okay. I think this has got a good,
Yeah, that's fine.
we've got a good level.
Yeah, if you want to go, I'm recording.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm with Scotty Moore and DJ Fontana, two of the people who really, I guess, shaped rock and roll for all of us who followed. And first of all, Scotty, I wanted to ask you what your first impressions were when you heard Elvis Presley sing and when you met the man.
Well, I met him on Sunday before we went into the studio. He seemed like he knew every song in the world. He didn't know how to play them on his guitar, but he knew most of the lyrics. He had excellent timing, both in his voice and playing his guitar rhythm-wise. And that was about it. He had his voice wasn't mature yet. It was still fairly high-pitched. And a lot of that had to do with the limited ability of playing different keys on a guitar, just the ones he'd learned so far. But then we went into actually an audition, not a recording session, on the next night at the studio.
And the first session you did together was That's All Right Mama. I mean, could you tell that this was going to be the start of something that was going to change the whole world?
No, of course not. And again, let me point out, this was not, we did not go in to make a record. This was an audition. I knew Sam from a record that the group I was working with had done earlier, a few months earlier. And he, because we didn't charge anything, he brought Bill and Black and myself in just to make a little background noise for Elvis, for an audition. Out of that audition came the first record.
So, DJ, you came a little bit later in the pictures, I guess about something like 5 or 6 months later.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. It's after he had left Sun and went to RCA Victor. And then we did Heartbreak Hotel. And then from there up.
Now, how does it feel, the idea that, although obviously a lot of real big music fans know yourselves through all of these classic recordings, but the fact that there was so much focus on just the vocalist, was that anything that you ever felt bad about? Or
No, he was the singer, he was the star, and we let it go at that. We knew what we were supposed to do, and we did it, you know.
But a lot of musicians, I guess, who followed have been very influenced by what you guys done in those records. I mean, Keith Richards, I remember, said that his favourite guitar solo of all time was one of your Scotties. I think it was I'm Left, You're Right, She's Gone. Quoted as his favourite guitarist. Can you see that influence in these other players when either of you listen to recordings by people that came later?
Once in a while I can, yeah. But I just tell them, you know, don't blame me for the whole thing, you know. I take a little bit of responsibility, but not for the whole, not for everything.
And another thing that's always been quite well documented now is that so many session musicians on so many, I guess, crucial records in the history of popular music never really got paid so much for these sessions. You hear people playing on classic Phil Spector sessions maybe getting $25. I mean, was that a situation with you guys that you never really saw the money that was perhaps really due to you for that?
Well, no, once we went to Victor, RCA, well, they paid scale. I mean, you know, and that's all they were going to pay you, no more, no less. And you might work 3 hours. We were paid in segments of 3 hours. And sometimes we were at 10, 12 hours. So, you know, it was a good night's work.
Scotty, something else you kind of moved on to. I mean, for a while you put the guitar down and you ended up working in production a little bit. You worked with people at Ringo Starr. Was that a very different experience from those early days?